Hello everyone, it's Elaine Louise from Pink Peppermint Cards. Thank you for joining me today on my channel. Today I'm going to be making some super cute Halloween treat boxes using Doodlebug, Pumpkin Party, paper pad and ephemera. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial. So let's jump in. So I'm going to be taking this Pumpkin Party paper pad from Doodlebug Design, and it has some really gorgeous papers in it, and I'm going to be taking this one with the rectangles and cutting these apart, and I'm just using my Fiskars paper trimmer to trim those up. I trim them all up and just have the pile sitting on my desk ready to use, and these little rectangles are 2 inches by 1.5 inches. So I'll just go ahead, trim them all down. I like this trimmer because it has the wire running down the middle and it helps to make a more accurate cut. So there they all are. And then I just take some paper out of my stash and I'm going to layer them up onto that paper. So there we go, there's the dimensions. I also will have this on my blog as well, which I shall link in the description box. So I just want a small border all the way around those cut aparts, and it's just a very small border, so I just add 1/8 of an inch to the cut apart measurements, and I just apply a little bit of adhesive on the back of the cut aparts and then just layer it on top of that cardstock. And there you go, that's the treat box I'm going to be using today, which I'll show you again in a minute. And I just go ahead and do that for all of those cut aparts. And then I go through the paper pad and just take some of the sheets and just trim them down to 2 inches by 1.5 inches, the same as the other cut aparts. And these are going to just go around the edge of my carton just for some decoration, but I'm also going to be layering these up as well. So I just took some nice ones that I like the look of. And for these ones, as I didn't cut out the layering cardstock first, I just sort of eyeballed this one. I thought this might be quicker, but I actually found this took actually more time. So it's just another option if you didn't want to measure everything out. So I just took those strips of scrap cardstock in sort of Halloween colours, apply all those bits, and then I trim them down, and I just cut these down by eye. It just depends what works for you. I mean, these treat boxes might not be kept, so you have to work out how much of a perfectionist you want to be. So now I'm just taking the odds and ends and I'm just going through, picking out the ones that I maybe want to use on my treat boxes. Some of them are a little bit big, and I'm not really too sure at this stage what I want to use, so I just sort of pop them all into different piles. My treat boxes aren't huge, so I don't want anything too big. Like those fences were a little bit long for what I wanted, so I put those to one side, and I'll probably use those again next year. And then I take this sheet out of the paper pad and I just trim down all those little strips because I'm going to be using those as part of decoration for my boxes. So this is the Lawn Full Milk Carton die, and I've taken more Halloween coloured papers, and I cut 2 of these out per colour of paper. And then there's lots of score lines, so the best thing to do is go ahead and score all those lines with a bone folder. It is a little bit fiddly and does take quite a bit of time, but it's worth doing. It makes putting together the treat box a lot easier. I apply a little bit of ATG adhesive down that strip. And then fold over that other one, and there we can see the box taking shape. I find, I call this dry adhesive, I find this adhesive a lot easier when working with things like pop-up cards and treat boxes. It's just a bit more instant. And personally that works best for me. So now I'm just going to go and pull all those pieces that I'd created and start adhering them around the edge of the box. So I've got 2 decorative panels, 1 cut apart, and I shall have one of the Doodlebug ephemera on the front. So that's how it's going to look once I stick everything down. And I've just trimmed those strips of paper that I cut out from the paper pad, just for a little bit of extra decoration. It was looking a little bit plain around the top. Again, just applying some ATG adhesive along those strips. And then on the front where my Doodlebug people will be, I wanted to use some black glitter card. So I used my lawn fawn grassy border and cut out some glittery paper. And I'm just going to trim that down and apply that to all the treat boxes. I have made quite a few, but I've only showed the process for one because, well, the process is the same for all of them. So here's my little pumpkin girl, and I've used some more of that. I think this is from the Chit Chat, the pumpkin party Chit Chat. Now to secure everything from the top, I'm just going to put a couple of pencil marks, and I am using my Crop-a-dile to punch out 2 holes, popping in my treat, and this is just some nice black ribbon, and I just thread that through the holes and then tie a bow. I find tying bows quite clumsy on camera. I'm all fingers and thumbs, but I just make a nice bow, tighten that up, and I think it looks super cute. So now moving on to the little tag that I wanted to put on, I'm using this Mama Elephant die set. I will list it in the description box below. And I'm taking this Trick or Treat stamp from MFT Frightfully Fun stamp set. It's quite an old stamp set, but anything would do that you've got in your stash. Using my Embossing Buddy and some Versamark ink. And I use some nice purple cardstock for this. I've got some super fine white embossing powder, and I will just heat set that with my heat gun. And I've also cut this tag out of some white cardstock as well. I like to back all my tags with a backing piece. I use my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive just to secure those together. I like the size of these tags. I think they're supposed to be for Christmas, but I like to get the most out of my stash, so whatever works. And then I've also cut out one of these little bows in the die set from some more of that black glitter paper. And I'm just popping that on the front with some more liquid adhesive. And so to secure this to my treat box, this is the black treat box that I made with some white ribbon. I just thread that through that back part of the ribbon with my reverse tweezers. I've used some silver thread that I had in my stash, and I'm just securing that on the back. Trim off those little excess pieces. And that is my treat box pretty much done. So this is the other one I made, the little pumpkins on the front. A little cat. I used some tulle on that one. And this is my little pumpkin girl and a princess. So I'm really happy with how they turned out. Thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed seeing my process video for these. Don't forget to check out my blog. I'd love it if you would subscribe and hit the notification bell. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.